Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I am that dude, Bodkins.
If DP lost like, beef. Yeah.
Right. Where he's wondering, like, he's like, I
Patty to patty.
He won style, like no weight classes.
Yeah, basically, like I said, there's been a couple guys that are like,
It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy.
That's just not my mentality, bro. Like,
Yeah. Leave the ladder down. That's my always like, hey, somebody helped you out. Why not help somebody else out? Return.
Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkins Show.
Or bringing Craig Counsell down the interstate in a move unexpected. I had people.
I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great Bodkins Show. I am your host, of course, Bodkins. This is our NFL Week 12 reaction show. What a day. Another wild day in the NFL. I mean, you might have had a game of the year in the Cowboys and the Commanders. 4 touchdowns, they said, were scored in the final 3 minutes of that game. Absolute wild. Cowboys finally win a game. They hadn't won a game since postseason baseball, and not even talking the World Series, they were saying. So Cowboys get the big win. The Buccaneers put it on the Giants. The Titans beat the Texans in a wild game. The Bears lose another heartbreaker, this time in overtime. Seahawks get a nice win. The Packers dominate. Lions dominate. Dolphins dominate. The Chiefs hold on here against the Panthers as well. So 30-27 in that game. They kick a game-winning field goal. That's a absolute wild day, NFL Week 12. No Johnny tonight, so we're just going to hop right into it. Let me share the old screen with y'all, as we normally do here. We got maybe early part of the upset of the day here. Titans go into Houston and win 32-27. Titans get to 3-8. Texans fall to 7-5. I mean, they'll still win this division, but man, the Texans have got to be. They could be third, and they're so disappointing this year. Will Levis, 18-24, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tony Pollard ran all over this Texans defense, 24 carries, 119 yards, 1 touchdown. Calvin Ridley, 5 for 93. And then we got the Texans here, 20-30, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for C.J. Stroud. Joe Mixon, they shut the Titans defense shut him down 14 for 22. Nico Collins was back and had a nice game, 5 for 92 and a touchdown. But the Texans, we've said it on this program before, they just don't. They are so disappointing. They lose to this week, and in a game that they probably should have dominated. And kudos to the Titans for getting a big win to, kind of end their losing streak there. But you just think like the Texans should – this is a game that at home they should dominate. Nico Collins is back. They get a safety late. The Titans get a safety late in this game. And just – the Texans aren't that good. And this was a team that myself included thought could compete with the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Like this was this was the team to beat. This is the team that could beat the Chiefs. Now, they're going to win their division because the division's an absolute shit show. But are you picking them to beat anybody in the AFC? Are you picking them to beat the Chiefs? No. Are you picking them to beat the The Ravens, no. I probably wouldn't pick them to beat the Steelers. You know, I mean, even though the Steelers lost Thursday night, who else? I'm looking at here. Let me take a look here in the standings real quick. Who they could have to possibly play in the playoffs. You know, so in the first round, let's see, we know 2 would play the 8, and then Denver would play Buffalo, Pittsburgh would play Baltimore. Oh yeah, so in the first round they would play the Chargers right now if the season ended today. I'd probably picking the Chargers to beat them. You can't pick this Texans team's not very good. I've tried to talk to the guys at Just Fans to figure out what's going on. Nobody, they seem to think it's Bobby Slovic. It seems to be, the defense a little bit. I think CJ Stroud's regressed a little bit, but man, Texans, hey, you're going to win the division, but it's probably one and done once you get to the playoffs. So let's get to 2 other teams. The Bears lose another heartbreaker. This one in overtime. This was a absolute wild game. Bears score 17 points in the fourth quarter to tie this game up, send it to overtime. They make a game-tying field goal to send it to overtime. And then overtime, they get the ball. They pretty much go 3 and out. Caleb Williams takes a bad sack. Vikings get it. Then they go down and kick the game winner here. Sam Darnold, nice bounce. He's been playing better the last 2 weeks. 22 of 34, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones ran over all over this Bears defense. 22 carries for 106 and a touchdown. Jordan Addison, 8 receptions, 162 yards and a touchdown. So TJ Hawkinson, nice game, 7 for 114. So they're kind of getting everything kind of going. Justin Jefferson was kind of shut down in this game, 2 for 27. You look at the Bears, Caleb Williams, I mean, he's bouncing back here after some early season struggles. 32 of 47, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. His second good quality game. Remember, so maybe the OC change was well needed. DeAndre Swift had 13 carries for 30 yards. And then you get into the pass receptions here, 7 for 106 and a touchdown, 9 for 8 for DJ Moore, 9 for 86 and a touchdown. Cole Kmet had 7. Roma Dunze had 5. So the Bears lose, but like if you're a Bears fan, second week in a row, you hung with your 2 division opponents and you just lost, last second, plays or field goals. But the offense looks a hell of a lot better than it did the old OC. So the coaching change mid-season, it might be a little too late, and they're just losing a lot of close games. Let's get into the wildest game of the day. Like I said, there was 4 touchdowns scored in 3 minutes in this game. The Commanders, I about called them the Redskins, they go down. The Cowboys are up. It's a 7-point game, and there's like 30 seconds left. Jaden Daniels finds Terry McLaurin deep. He runs it for the score. They set up extra. They go for the extra point to tie, probably take it into overtime. Misses the extra point. They do an onside kick. Onside kicks picked up and returned. Earlier before that, Torben ran back a touchdown for a kickoff for a touchdown when the Commanders had got it into one score game. Then the Commanders went back, scored another touchdown. Like this game was just absolutely wild in that fourth quarter. Cowboys got 24 points in that fourth quarter, and the Commanders got 17. You look at Cooper Rush, 24 32, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rico Duwalde, 19 for 86. CeeDee Lamb, 10 for 67. And then you look at the Commanders here. Jaden Daniels, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Brian Robinson only had 5 carries. He got banged up in this game. Austin Eckler had a concussion. Jaden also ran 7 for 74 and a touchdown. Terry McLaurin 5 for 102. Like I said, 77 of them came off the game winner. Our game would have been the game tire. Sorry. Zach Ertz 6 for 38 and a touchdown. So, this was game of the day, and I said it. I'm jumping off. I am jumping off the Commanders bandwagon here. This loss. This is a game that they probably should have won, and back-to-back division losses to an up-and-coming team. They still got a lot of promise. I really like what they're doing there. I just think they're missing some talent, but this was a game that they probably should have won, and going into the day. And kudos to the Cowboys finding a way to win and getting their first win in a while. So, in over a month. We get to the next one. We got Dolphins here. Absolutely, they seem back here. 5-6. They are 13-15. They beat the Patriots 34-15. Dolphins fall to 3-9. This was huge. Johnny was. They don't, Craig. They don't have a good win on the resume. And this, I will say, this is their first bad loss. But they don't have a solid, like if this was college, as far as like rankings wise, it would be who have they beat, and they just haven't beat anybody. But yeah, that's where I'm at on the Commanders. I am jumping off the Commanders bandwagon. They could still make the playoffs, but they're just not as, they lose to good teams and then they lost a bad one today. The Dolphins seem back, and I wish Johnny was here because we talked about this before. This is a team that has, playoff aspirations. They play Green Bay next Thursday on Thanksgiving. If they can win that one and get to 6-6, they're right back in the thick of things. But every game is almost a must win for the Dolphins, and today they got it done against the Patriots. Who, Drake May continues to impress. Like, he continues to play well. 22 of 37, 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not much in the running game or the passing game. You know what I mean? Like, when you're just losing. Tua looks all the way back. 29 of 40, 317 yards, 4 touchdowns. He seems to be back off of that early concussion. Jalen Waddle had his best game of the year, 8 for 114 and a touchdown. Jonnu Smith, 9 for 87 and a touchdown. Maybe Jonnu Smith's a guy. Again, so if you're a fantasy player, you might want to be, if you haven't already, this second good game by Jonnu Smith, you might want to pick him up. I don't really have much to say. The Dolphins got to win out. The Dolphins got to win out here. And we get to the Patriots, the Chiefs Panthers game. The Chiefs. This is a game I thought the Panthers were going to pull out for a little bit. The Chiefs just let them hang around, but they win 30-27 again on a walk-off field goal. 10 to get to 10-1. Panthers fall to 3-8. 27 of 37, 269 yards, not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes. Kareem Hunt, 16 for 60. Noah Gray, 4 for 66 and 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce had 6 for 62. So DeAndre Hopkins, 5 for 35 and a touchdown. Chiefs get the win. They don't cover, but they get the win. And the Panthers, I think you got to feel pretty good. This is, really the third consecutive game since Bryce Young was reinserted that, while they lost, like they look better than what they did a month ago. Let's get into the next one here. Buccaneers just absolutely dominate the Giants. I don't think anybody wasn't surprised to this. Baker Mayfield, 20 of 30, 294 yards, had an incredible rushing touchdown as well in this game. Bucky Irving, 12 of 87 and a touchdown. Rachaad White, 12 of 37 and a touchdown. Mike Evans, welcome back, 5 for 68. The Giants absolutely did nothing. And then their young, talented Receiver Malik Neighbors, he was going off in the locker room. Tommy DeVito, 21 to 31, 189 yards. Tyrone Tracy, 9 carries for 42. I mean, this team is it's abysmal. They suck. The Giants are awful. Bucks get to 5-6. They're around the cut. I think they can still win this NFC South. Let me look here. I was looking at I've got the playoffs. I was going to pull up the AFC or NFC South division. Yeah, so I mean the Bucks, the Atlanta does have 2 wins over Atlanta, or over the Bucks, so that's going to hurt them. But 6-5 is Atlanta. The Tampa Bay's 5-6, so like it's still right there for Tampa Bay. They're going to need some help, but with the Falcons, you got to feel like it's going to be okay. It's like that help could come. That help could come. Where are we at here? Oh, we get into the last early game here of the day. Lions absolutely destroy the Colts 24-6. We all knew. I mean, the Lions are the best team in the league now. All things, 26-36 for Goff, 269 yards. They play the Bears on Thanksgiving Day. 21 carries, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns for Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery, 8 for 37. Jameson Williams had 5 for 64. The Colts, Anthony Richardson, bad game today, 11 of 28, only 172 yards passing. Michael Pittman had 6 for 96. The Colts, they're 5-7. That's what they're going to be. They're not going to make the playoffs. I don't think. They're not a very good team. The Lions are the absolute best team. And this is what the Lions do. Take notice, Texan fans, take notice, Commanders. Like this Lions team, they don't play down to their competition, and even like Green Bay or any team, the Chiefs, like they play a level to a standard, so they play football to a standard, and they meet that standard, and then they beat you down. I've said this before about the Lions, that they'll come into your house, slap you in the face, steal your girl, and take a big slice of piece of chicken. So, and there ain't shit you can do about it. Stick with Bryce talking about the Panthers. I probably do, man. I probably stick with him. You gave up the farm to get him. Why not? He's improving. It's been a slow, and then maybe you try to build some pieces around him. I don't think that getting rid of Bryce Young right now is the right answer. Like he's improving. I don't think the reason they're bad is all on him. So I think he's getting better. So I would stick with him and try to build around him, depending on what pick they get. Let's get into the absolute late games here. The Broncos, 29-19. This is a team I like as well. The Broncos, get to 7-5. They beat the Raiders 2-19. Gardner Minshew broke his collarbone in this game. He's out for the year. Bo Nix continues to not play. He's just playing steady, like a perfect quarterback that you want. Like, hey, don't kill us. 25 of 42, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jaleel McLaughlin, 7 carries of 44 yards. I mean, Javonte Williams had 8 for -2. This running back room in Denver is crazy. Cortland Sutton continues to have a good year, 8 for 97 and 2 touchdowns. So this Denver team and that defense is really good. The Raiders, we know, stink, but I think this Broncos team could make the playoffs. It's kind of that one of those wild cards. The NFC West could get 3 playoff teams in: the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Broncos. So Gardner Minshew goes 25 of 42, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And Jacoby Myers goes 10 for 121 in the loss. So let's see here. We'll get into Man, I really thought the Cardinals were going to start turning this thing, kind of, camp their flag here in the NFC West and really kind of take the lead here. But they lose today to the Seahawks, who get to 6. Both teams 6-5. They win. Seahawks win 16-6. Kyler Murray just couldn't get anything going. 24-35, 285 yards. They failed to reach the end zone. Trey Benson only four carries for 18. James Conner 7 for 8. So it's like Trey McBride had himself a day, 12 for 133. Marvin Harrison Jr. only had 3 for 47. This Cardinal team in this NFC West, it's wide open, much like the AFC NFC South is, but this NFC West, yeah. I mean, if the Rams win tonight, which is a tough task, they'd be 6-5. 3 teams would be 6-5. The 49ers would be 5-6. So everything is kind of wide open for that division for all 4 teams. Like, I'm not counting out the 49ers, even though they lost today, to my Packers, which we'll get into real quick here. Green Bay wins 38-10. They get to 8-3. Like I said, 49ers fall to 5-6. Brendan Allen, 17-29, 199 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. George Kittle, 6 for 82 and a touchdown. Jordan Love, 13-23, only 163 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs had a heck of a game, 26 carries, 106 yards, had the hat trick. 3 touchdowns for Josh Jacobs. So Packers win. This is a game that I thought, man, the 49ers just kind of kept lingering around until about the 4th quarter, and then Green Bay finally put it on them and were able to pull this one out. Both these games really, this another wild week, and we're reaching to that final quarter of the season where we're only going to have 4 or 5 games left after Thanksgiving. And you're looking at it right now, like, I'm just going to look at the standings here. AFC West East is pretty much, to me, stacked up. It's 9. The Buffalo Bills are 9-2. The Dolphins do have a chance to make the playoffs at 5-6. Technically, they're the 8th seed right now, so technically they're in. They would be in that, which is crazy at 5-6. Now you got Indy is 5-7. Cincinnati 4-7. So like Miami's right there, which is wild to think. Even if they, but if they lose, on Thursday next week, but they would fall to 5-7 as well, and then that would kind of open up the door for possibly Indy and Cincinnati, which is wild to think that those teams still have playoff, hopes. The AFC North, Pittsburgh, the big win 2 weeks ago. Baltimore's about to play tomorrow night. If they can win, they would be 8-4. Pittsburgh 8-3. Baltimore hasn't had their bye week yet, so that's week 14 for them. And then Pittsburgh would have the the tiebreaker over them right currently. And Cleveland got one Thursday night. They're 3-8. I think their season's pretty much over. We can all agree. And then, like I said, the NFC South, Houston's pretty much got it wrapped up. They got the double win, plus they are 2 games ahead. So they're pretty much 4 games ahead of Indy this week right now. And I think they're going to win that division. They just might be the worst of the division teams. So the AFC West, like I said, Chiefs look like they could. I don't think. They're 10-1. They're probably going to win. They're probably going to take home their the number 1 seed. I'm looking down through the rest of their record. They do got the Steelers. They got the Chargers again and the Raiders on Black Friday. But really, it's just the chart. If you look at their record, then they got the their schedule. They got the Browns, Texans, Broncos, Steelers, Broncos, like they could lose to the Chargers. Yeah, Craig, Houston struggling, but will be the only team then this NFC. Yeah, which is wild in that division. And they probably not. I mean, they're going to win that division handily, but I don't pick them to win a playoff game right now. Then you got Chiefs. Back to the Chiefs real quick. The Chiefs may only get the one loss. I think they'll probably stumble down the stretch, at least maybe two. But they'll probably take that first seed. Then you get to the NFC. I think the Eagles are kind of wrapping this thing up. They got a 3-game. They win tonight. They'd get to 9-2, have a 3-game lead plus the tiebreaker over the Commanders. So they're well on their way. And then you get to the NFC North. You got 3 teams that could probably make the playoffs. You got Detroit 10-1. Philly's right there for they're battling for that 1 seed. But don't forget, Minnesota only at 9-2. They only got 2 losses, and then my Packers at 8-3. They do play the Lions and Vikings again. So the NFC North is probably going to get three teams in this playoffs here. The NFC North has 3 of the top 4. And then you get to the South. Like I said, I think Tampa Bay can squeak in, can win that from Atlanta. I know they got to make up some ground. But I'm not buying in on the Falcons, and with Mike Evans back, Tampa Bay will look better. And then that NFC West, it's all 4 teams still in it, so it'll be wild down the stretch here. But let's get into our dogs and turds of the week real quick before we get out of here. My week 12 turd of the week, it's not other than the Houston Texans. You had everything. You were playing the Titans at home. You have everything in front of you. It's the Houston Texans. I could have said the Giants and the benching and how they handled Danny Dimes and all that, but to me, like, that's the Giants. We've known they're abysmal for the all season, but the Texans to lose today the way they did to the Titans and how they did to the Titans, the Houston Texans, you guys are my week 12 turd of the week. Sorry about it, Just Fans, guys. Your team stinks right now. And the only reason they have a winning record is because the shit division that they play in. So now it's time to give out to my dog of the week.
And I rarely am a homer, but I'm going to go homer here. And my dog of the week is none other than my guy, Josh Jacobs. 26 carries, 106 yards, not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns. Got the hat trick. Green Bay, helping Green Bay win. I'm usually not a homer, but I'm being a homer this week. Josh Jacobs well deserves my NFL Week 12 dog of the week, baby. There it is.
All right, folks. Well, that concludes this weekend's Week 12 reaction show. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Johnny will be back next week. He was celebrating his son's birthday, so it is what it is, and hopefully they're having a good time. If you missed our morning dump show, he was on that, and we had our first guest, and Jonathan Grishman joined us, and he had some shit to get off his chest about LSU, Michigan, and the NIL deal. It's definitely worth the watch just for that. It was an incredible show. So please tune in if you have missed that this morning. Other than that, folks, we'll be back this time next week, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern for NFL Week 13 reaction, baby. That's NFL Week 13. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you next Sunday night, baby.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.